You see, with the married couple, you guys can mess things up. At night, you solve it. In business, it's money. There's no solving it. My friends are pretty much the same. These would be the class of people that have traveled, maybe some of the people that grew up having money. They would be the people you would say are probably the smarter part of society. They will go to my website, take pictures of all the products and send them to me and ask me how much is it. Every country in the world, according to their standard of living, lawyers, accountants and co are paid shit, not just Nigeria. Nigeria, you can make money. I'm pretty sure this lady is not here selling beans though. She's making money. Look at her hair. How many of the 200 million Nigerians' minds do you want to change? I thought it was possible as well, until I saw how much money Jumia and Konga spent trying to do it and failed. What would I do if I had that dream? Wake up.
Okay, so thank you for joining us this evening. I think before we get started, let's just do a little bit of an introduction. Just introduce yourself for anyone who is hearing about you for the first time. So a lot of them are now aware of what Drinks.ng is, so maybe you can just do a little bit of an intro.
Okay, so Lanre, founder of Drinks.ng.
All right, so I want to start on a personal note. So you were born in the south of London, and then you moved back to Mushin somewhere in your teenage years.
Yeah.
Okay, so what was that experience like for someone who had to experience basically two cultures within a very short time in their life, and how do you think it has either shaped you as a person or shaped you as an entrepreneur?
Okay, so probably a bit more context and correction. So I think, I grew up in South London, probably about 15. I got sent back to Nigeria, as a lot of people did. Bad behavior, stupidity. I wasn't bad, I was just stupid, just not serious. Which is also a note to people that just because you're not serious when you're young doesn't mean you can't be serious when you get older. You can turn your life around at any point in time. Actually, it wasn't actually Mushi, it was Itire.
Oh, okay.
So if there was a monopoly board, the first property on the monopoly board in Nigeria is Itire, which is generally the cheapest, poorest place in Ajegunle is not actually as bad as Itire. Like Itire is terrible. So I went from living in a modern society to having to kick maggots out the way before I go toilet. Like it was bad. I got left with some relative, but the good thing about when you're young is like you're just adaptable, right? Depending on who you are, I'm very adaptable. So I guess I get like after a couple of weeks, my dad realized it was a bad idea. I think he was driving down the road with one of his friends, and I was playing football. And I think at that precise moment he was coming, somebody got the ball out of the gutter, threw it at me. I just nodded the ball, and the gutter water went everywhere. And he was just like, "What's going on?" So he sent me to boarding school instead. So I went to Model College, Cancun, for about 3 years. That was equally terrible. So I went from kicking maggots out of the way to dodging snakes from the pit latrine. It was just crazy. I almost got my privates chopped off by a baby alligator from going toilet in the bush. Like I went through it. Yeah. So probably about maybe 20. I went back to the UK. Yeah, like 20. I went back to the UK. So I was here for like 4 years, 4 or 5 years, something like that. But it was. I'll tell you one good thing about Nigeria is like it grounds you, makes you take what is serious in life serious. It gives you a certain level of discipline that you need to take life more seriously. So by the time I went back to the UK, I just saw things differently, took different things more seriously. You know, over there, someone's problem is, I'm not wearing a red jacket today. You're just like, it's not your life problem. Whereas Nigeria, you don't have time for that rubbish. You know, you're just getting on with life. So it shaped me more from a discipline point of view and taking life more seriously and the things that more. And I guess, because in Nigeria, because poverty is so close, you know what life can be like very, very early. And then you know what you want and what you don't want. So that also helps. Whereas when you're in the UK, life is quite camouflaged. Do you understand? Taking a bus is not a big deal. Rich or poor, you can take a bus, you can take public transport. So you can very easily get comfortable. accommodation is not hard. Nothing is too hard then, but mediocre life becomes very acceptable because you're comfortable. For success in life, you need a lot of hunger, and sometimes hunger needs a lot of suffering. So it taught me a lot of discipline, a lot of hunger, a lot of focus, and a lot of will. Those 5 years I was in Nigeria. Yeah.
Okay. So the story for Drinks.ng is that you were put in charge of drinks at Jason Jacko's bachelor's party, and while you were doing that, you discovered that you sort of needed a middleman in order for you to get drinks in Nigeria, something you were not very used to, and most people just get on with it, they figure out the way to get the drinks, and then they move on. But you decided to turn that into an inspiration for building Drinks.ng. So why didn't you just move on from the problem, especially because you were not exactly spending a lot of time in Nigeria at the time? Why didn't you just move on from the problem?
I think first of all in life you need to discover what the problem is, right? And for me the problem was the UK. So I did move on from the problem. I left the UK. So I was tired of that place. I was tired of life. I was bored. I hadn't been to Nigeria for maybe 15, 16 years before coming back then. Sorry, I know I should be looking at them, but because of the way the chair is facing,
yeah,
I keep looking at you, so I feel like I'm being rude. I'm so sorry. Amongst my friend group, I'm like the party guy. So I guess there was a sense of that unseriousness that still followed me till today. So I was always like the party guy. So in London, it was easy. Well, it wasn't even in London, it was Bristol. So Jason was getting married, so organized batch party, organized this, that. It was easy, right? Go to Majestic Wine, get drinks in the apartment, go out. This is like nothing. This is nothing. So we came to Nigeria. We did the same thing. So I had to organize drinks for the wedding. And I expected the same thing, right? Okay, cool. Where do I go to get the drinks? And everybody said, I've got a guy. I was like, why does everybody have a guy? And then, you're always wary of Nigeria and anything Nigerian when you come. When people say they've got a guy, the first thing you know is either he has a cut or there's something wrong. Let me just go to the shop and do it myself. But there absolutely was no shop. There was nowhere. You had to go to the market to buy stuff in wholesale. I didn't understand it. And so I insisted, let's go to this market you're talking about. And then I went to the market. Obviously, I don't know, has anyone been to OKRM before? You can imagine. Yes, sir. You've been? You understand what I mean? Come wind, rain, or shine, everything is just outside. Till today, it's just outside. If I tell you that I bought those drinks, I got to the market at 2:00. I never left the market till 8:30. It took so long to get the drinks, and eventually... Sorry? Yeah, because they didn't have them in one place. So it took the whole afternoon to get them. And I don't know if anyone's ever been in Lagos Island past 6:00, but it's not the same place. It's not the same place. When it starts getting dark, all those helpful goons that tell you, come and park here, they ain't telling you to come and park at nighttime. They're trying to, do stuff to you. So I'm sitting there. Back then, everything was 2.5 million naira, which today would probably be 25 million naira or so. So I'm standing in the middle. So one thing about Lagos Island everyone doesn't know is, you see, during the daytime, all those places that are shops, above them, they're all residents. People live above them. It's a big community at night, but it's also a very dangerous community at night. They have their own laws, their own everything. So I'm standing there with a long row of drinks, and it's just me. And everyone's offering me weed, offering me all sorts, So at the end of the day, I end up. I think back then it wasn't too much money, but I ended up buying 1,000 naira worth of weed for a bunch of guys, and I can't say this, can I? I used to roll for my friends when I was younger, so I ended up rolling for I just did whatever I could do to just make them think I was cool. That was the only way I survived until a truck came and took us out of there. But that added to the mad experience that I had, and I just thought. So every time someone wants to buy, you have to remember we're talking about common alcohol. It's nothing. you have to go through this. Like, it didn't make sense to me. So, went to the wedding, I think it was the following weekend, went back to London a week after that, and then I just started researching it, and I just thought, I forget this crap. It was cold in London. I thought, I forget it, I'm going. And I think one part about being an entrepreneur that people probably don't really understand, you can live with some of those things, you can choose not to, but one of the biggest things is sacrifice. I just had a 1-year-old son at the time, and I had to make a decision whether to stay with him and his mom or to come to Nigeria and start the business. We weren't getting on, so I left anyway, so we were fine. So sacrifice is a big part of it. It turned out well in the end. I mean, he's with me as well, so it's fine. Then I moved to Nigeria, and then we started.
Okay. So, did you validate the idea for Drinks.ng, or did you just, you saw there was clearly a problem, and then you just jumped right into it?
How did they validate something for Nigeria? I mean, I just looked, right? And I didn't see a solution. So that was the validation. I think the only validation I needed was volume checkers. Like, how much volume is actually coming into Nigeria. I mean, one of the hardest things you'll ever be faced with in Nigeria is data. Whatever you want to do, I mean, now is like 100 times better than what it was like then. But even now, it's not great. Like, you wanna, like, how do you validate stuff? Like, you literally, it's just like sheer intuition. You know, you take a look. I mean, you look for the solution. If you don't find the solution that you have, that's your validation.
Okay. Early days, those were like super early days of the internet. Very few businesses were either strictly online or even had an online presence. What kind of mistakes did you make starting out Drinks.ng?
Man, we go tell mistakes. We're still making mistakes.
Yeah.
We still make mistakes.
Let's hear
I don't think anything was a mistake, because if I didn't do it, I would still want to do it. So, I mean, I would say there are some things that are clearly mistakes, but Nigeria is such a peculiar place. Things you think that won't work, they actually work. So I actually think there's a lot of solution in trying. I mean, when you say something is a mistake, most of the time you look to problems that have previously existed in the West. And you think, oh, if they didn't work here, they don't work there. But in Nigeria, it's not the case. Like, you really can't correlate the solutions to problems. So the only mistake I'd say we make is we didn't move fast enough with all of our mistakes. But you will learn from them, because eagerness and ambition will always drive you to want to try things. And if you don't try it, and the next thing you do try doesn't work, you'll tell yourself, I wish I had done that. And it will never go away. I mean, if you're a solution solver, that thinking and feeling of I should have tried this and that, it will never go away. So just try it, unless it's real stupid. But just try it, and if it doesn't work, just try something else. Just do it quickly.
Okay. So something that I'm curious about is what your MVP sort of looked like. Did you build a tech solution right away, or did you maybe wait a couple months or a couple years before you had a proper tech solution?
I mean, is it? I don't know. Is it really tech? It's more marketing than tech for us. Okay. I mean, e-commerce is pretty standard, right? It's pretty standard. I mean, even Jumia, is it tech they're doing? Really? I mean, I would easily say, I don't know their numbers, but I would say majority of their sales come from agents and stuff, which is not tech, right? They may use an iPad to place the order, but it's not tech. Like, for example, I know they sell drinks. Who's going to be listening to this thing?
You really can't tell.
What's in it good? So for example, in our industry, so we work with the likes of Guinness, right? And sometimes we look at the numbers of different things we're doing. So, like, first of all, in terms of beverages, we wipe the floor with everybody. Jumia, Mano, all of them. We wipe the floor with them in terms of numbers. But there's one particular thing that Jumia kills us on, which is Malta Guinness. And sometimes I look at the numbers and I'm like, 10,000 Malta Guinness. I'm like, who's buying 10,000 Malta Guinness online? Like, it's not possible. You know, like you don't need to walk 5 meters. Someone is selling Malta Guinness. So why do you have to? And it's like, is that the camera? I found out what you people are doing. They're just taking it and giving it to wholesalers. You can't. So I think with a lot of things in Nigeria, other than fintech, the travel agents, most people aren't really using a vast amount of tech improvements to solve problems. I think what tech has helped us do, what parts of tech that have helped us improve the business over time. You have to remember when we started, there was no techno phones, there was nothing. Most people had Blackberries. You try ordering anything on a Blackberry. You know, there was iPhones. How many people could afford iPhones? Not that many. Payment solution. There were no payment solutions. And I think, you know, for example, what really catapulted our business, which you guys were a part of, is an article that I did that we stopped doing payment on delivery first. Because I don't understand, like, when it gets to you, then you pay, or you tell me you don't want, like, so we stopped it. So what really made the business successful wasn't really tech. It was really solving African problems in the African way. And tech was just there to support it, but it wasn't there as a solution.
Okay, that's an important point because first it's going to lead me to my next question, which is the growth channels that worked for you guys. But the reason I asked that question is a lot of people have ideas in their head, and first thing they try to do is build out an app or build a website to deliver a solution. And for you, you were launching at a time when tech wasn't exactly that as commonplace as it is today or as mainstream as it is today. So I just wanted to be sure that you didn't build a tech-first approach, especially because you have spent a lot of time outside Nigeria. So it's easy to sort of fall into that trap of replicating what you had seen somewhere else in Nigeria. That's why I was asking that question. But then to the growth channels that worked for you, what did you initially do in those early days to get customers?
Like I said, for us, marketing, if it comes on the tech, marketing is the most important thing. One great thing about Nigeria is people download apps very easily in Nigeria. It's very cheap to get people to download apps. Nigerians are triers. If they see something they don't know, they'll download the app. Getting them to keep the app on their phone and use it, now that's a different problem. So they must really want it. But I'm pretty sure if you ask anybody here, getting your app from 0 to 100,000, so long as you have marketing budget, is not that hard. It's not that hard. But getting them to use it, now that's very tricky. So there must be an element of stickiness. There must be an element of desire and need, real need. Because, look, if you grow up in the UK, or you live in the UK, or you move abroad, you'll realize the difference between Africa and the West generally is the West is cash rich and time poor. Whereas in Africa, we're cash poor and time rich. So my average day living in the UK, I will wake up at 6, 7 in the morning. I have to dress up within 20 minutes. I have to rush to get the train. When I get the train, I have to be running to get to work. Then work starts. So all these buy groceries, book a holiday has to be done on my computer, right? It's also a different society and different economy. I can order whatever I want. If it gets to my house, if I'm not there, they can leave it in front of my doorstep. They can give it to my neighbor. Obviously, you know. you know. Whereas in Nigeria, trying to make me do anything is stress. Trying to make me go online and start looking for what to buy. I'll call Musilu. I'll call Sharifa. This family, staff, friends. It's too cheap in Africa to get people power to sort out a problem as opposed to tech power. Do you understand what I mean? Yeah. And that is where you see, if you look at the likes of the big Congas and Jumias and look at the kind of money they've spent in Nigeria, you can't spend that kind of money in a modern economy and still be doing badly. In Africa, they're still doing badly because what they're competing against is an informal trade that is far more cheaper, far more convenient, and far more powerful than they are. You know, you order something on Jumia, the first thing, or any platform, let me not look like I'm attacking Jumia, but you know, and I'm not because they don't bother me. But the first thing you will tell you is it will be delivered to you in 10, 12 days. Bye-bye, it's over. It's over. I can send anyone to go and get that thing for me, like, no. And it will more than likely be cheaper than what they're selling it as. So how do you compete against that?
Yep. Very good question that you are now going to answer.
No, that one...
How did you compete with that? Because now you're selling drinks. It's just one item. It's not exactly something I need for my day. Of course, there are people who drink every day, but a lot of people do not. It's something they probably do once in a while. So how did you, one, get people to buy into what you were selling at that time?
So you see, that's no longer motivational speaking. That's telling them my strategy. You want me to empower this potential competition to come and eat my food?
Well, competition, they say, makes things better, at least for us, the customers, not for you necessarily. But
now go and ask everybody that Amazon competed with, see if they agree with you. It will be... I think, first of all, you really need to address Nigerian problems. And what they're actually looking for. So, for example, I'll stand by it. I'll focus on my industry. I don't understand why the B2B platforms haven't worked. The Vendeeses and all those guys. I don't know what magic they did, why they all didn't work. But those things work. They should work because put it this way, right? When I was young, if my mum wanted to do any form of shopping for food, she doesn't have to go anywhere. Just walk onto the road. Like, the markets were on the street. On any street you go to, there's a market at the beginning of wherever there's a bus stop. The first thing you jam is a bunch of women selling different things. That no longer exists. You now, to a degree, regardless of how rural the area is, everybody goes to supermarkets, right? So buying singular items is easy, it's convenient. Buying bulk items, now that's not easy. That's the problem we focused on and addressed, and we forgot about the singular item market, which is why I say I don't understand why the magic the other guys did that they're not here. I don't understand.
Yeah, I think I get what you're saying. So maybe just for a little context.
His context, so I'm not talking about them.
Yeah, I mean, a little context from something you've said before. It was that you did a lot of volumes with Nigerians who were hosting weddings, for example.
Exactly.
Yeah, compared to maybe people who just wanted one drink or two. Because I don't know anyone here who buys drinks in bulk. Do you do? I know you are like...
Do I buy drinks in bulk?
Yeah, do you buy drinks in bulk?
Honestly, I don't know how people afford it. I can't though.
Okay, so I guess that answers the question.
Yeah,
So
but everybody does at some point in time, and it's very relative to what you call bulk. Anything from one case upwards is bulk. Now, as an example, where do you live? Shaga. Where do you live? Ogba. Where do you live? Okay, that's 3 different areas. I could go to any of your houses and tell you to buy anything up to 5, 6 various bottles of drinks. You probably have 6, 7 options, from the woman on the road to a supermarket. You have those options, right? You? Okay, so now I'm coming to your house and I want to have a party at your house. You can't give me one option in your area or nearby where you could buy 5, 6, 7 cases, or even 1 or 2 that you'd be willing to, that wouldn't be exuberantly expensive compared to going to the market. That's the problem. Do you get what I'm saying? So you have to focus on what our problems are. Try to make 1 bottle, 2 bottles convenient. It's not convenient, man. Like I said, go on to most of these platforms to get it. The obstacles you go through as well don't make financial sense. So he wants 2, 3 bottles. So in the UK, okay, I'll give you another example. One of my friends does something similar to what I do in South Africa. Now, he's a distributor, an importer, distributor for Laurent Perrier, which is champagne, right? So he buys it from Laurent Perrier in France. They ship it to South Africa. He uses a logistics company to clear the goods from the port. The same logistics company uses their vehicle, takes it to their warehouse. Now, they also have other products. He now sends them a list every day. They now use their smaller vehicles to distribute to different restaurants, bars, hotels. He doesn't even have an office. Doesn't even have an office, doesn't have staff, and he covers the whole of South Africa doing that. And it costs almost nothing for the logistics and for the warehousing. Nigeria, forget it. Forget it. You know, so for me to deliver, I mean, look, send something from VI to VI is almost like 5K. He wants to buy a bottle of Jameson that's like 20 something K. Like, he'll just look at him and be like, I'm already spending 25% on transport for the one bottle. What's the point? And it's not even guaranteed he's going to get there on time. It's not, you know, there's just too many obstacles, and then financially, it doesn't always make sense to do it that way. So we combined the two together, but like I said, we focused on the bigger problem as opposed to the problem. At the time, supermarkets were not as big, but we saw them getting bigger. So we pivoted straight away because we knew it was going to get bigger. So you always have to keep your eye on the market that you're in and see it turn and change so that you can pivot, turn and change before it does. Because if not, you'll just be wiped out before you know what it is. And Nigerians are very adaptable. Do you understand what I mean? So 1 minute you're a superstar today, the next minute you're nobody.
As your operations scaled, how did your operations evolve? So from marketing to your product, how did you, even to the way you hired and the way you managed your team, how did all of that evolve?
The hiring one, we haven't figured it out yet. we're still working on that.
Okay.
That's probably our biggest problem, and getting worse every year.
Why do you think you haven't figured that out?
Because I haven't figured out Nigerians. I haven't figured out, and I think, look, there's a fundamental lapse and problem in mentality in Nigeria towards work. And I think the startup culture in Nigeria will always struggle until the mentality of the people's changed. You know, everyone wants to be rewarded before you work, and you're only going to get that at large established organizations. With startups, there's this cool factor that people associate with it, but it's not cool. It's hard. It's very hard, you know, and people are not always willing to go through that hardship without wanting more for it. But, you know, you don't have more to give. I mean, luckily for us, we've weathered the storm. We're a lot bigger now, so we're fine. But, I mean, if you look around, the whole startup culture in Nigeria in terms of business, it's going down more and more and more. I mean, how many businesses in the last 5 years have come out and done well? Not many. Not many at all. And it's not because of the ideas. It's because of the attitude of the staff in the companies. I mean, a founder can only find something, right? He can't make it, grow it, build it himself. It's just not possible. So if people want better startups, if people want better opportunities, they're going to have to realize they have to be the ones to work for it. They, you know, I've always said one of the biggest issues in Nigeria is entrepreneurial attitude in Nigeria is the biggest problem, because everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. Everybody wants to be the captain of the ship. Everybody wants to be the Oga. No problem. I give you a ship now. Can you, you know, you need a crew. So I think Nigeria lacks, we don't groom operators. We don't teach people to work. We don't teach people, like, people just don't know how to run operations. People are not willing and they don't know. Everybody just wants to have that spirit of entrepreneurship. And that's why every business is so fragmented. If you go and look at any company over the last 5-10 years that has been in tech, that has probably collapsed, the shocking thing I find that happens most of the time, a lot of the staff that worked in that company, once the company's collapsed, you would assume they look for another job. No. They've pieced up the company for themselves. Somebody in HR is, for example, let's say a B2B business. Somebody is supplying oil to one of the customers. Somebody is supplying this. So everybody in the business has taken a piece of the business for themselves as it has collapsed, and they're still doing that. But if you were in HR, why are you not still trying to pursue HR? If you were in marketing, why are you not still trying to pursue marketing? And it shows you where the problem lies, is people pursue money, not solutions, which is why nothing is getting fixed.
Okay, so what have you tried to do, right, to fix that problem? So larger organizations often have the luxury of large budgets, so they take on a ton of people every year. And I'm talking about maybe banks or maybe the oil companies, for example. They probably have just a 100+ graduate trainees every year that they can get, train them, and hopefully those guys stay. what have you done on your level to sort of stem that operational gap that you've seen?
So just from the first part, I don't think even the big companies have solved that either. I came to Nigeria in 2013. Between 2013 and maybe 2021, I'd say, I mean, I travel a lot, a hell of a lot. And I'm telling you, Nigerian banking system was one of the best in the world that I've ever seen. It was so advanced compared to even America. I mean, on the continent, even South Africa, Morocco, Nigeria was ahead. Not so much anymore. I think it was 2021. Bookings.com, Amazon, they all came swept in. And ever since then, you know, I almost get nervous buying things outside and I have to transfer because I don't know if logging into the app is going to work. I don't know if doing the transfer is going to work. Like, I literally don't know. And even with that, I think everyone has kind of turned to the main two, I say main two, so the foreign platforms and one local one in MoneyPoint and then OPay. Until those guys came recently, the big banks were all failing on the basics. Meanwhile, these guys are way ahead, like just like 3-4 years ago. So I haven't solved it, and they definitely haven't solved it. But I still bring that problem down to the fact that, I mean, Segun Agbaje is the CEO of GT Bank. He can't solve that. The people that they hire have to solve it. But Nigeria as a country is in such a rut that the talent that may possibly surface to try and solve it, the minute they show sparks of talent, they're gone. They're gone.
Okay. You've been in this space for about 10 years now.
12.
12 years, okay. I haven't seen a lot of direct competitors. Yeah, I haven't seen a lot. So is it that you're so good at what you do that you kill off your competitors before they even have a chance to fight, or the market is a bit difficult?
I would honestly say, to start off with, yes, I'm good at what I do. But I think before I'm good, I am intentionally passionate about what I do. I came into it to solve a problem. And along the way, solving problems, we started to make money. I think, again, in Nigeria, the biggest issue is people go into things to make money. So when the challenge gets too hard, they stop. Because, I mean, starting a business is a very dirty sport anywhere in the world. In Nigeria, it's even dirtier and harder and stressful. I mean, I came to Nigeria happy. You know, I will leave one day maybe slightly wealthier, but with very bad health. And that's what entrepreneurship does. So in terms of direct competition, there's been a hell of a lot. There's a lot all the time. I won't mention them because I ain't trying to help no one revive. But I just think they just didn't stick it out long enough because maybe it just got too hard. I know a lot of the founders. I don't know them personally, but I know of them. I don't know any of them that only did that. Most of them did other stuff, did other things. So,
I mean, if you think about it, it's cool to be a serial entrepreneur.
I don't agree.
Okay, why?
I think you can only become a serial entrepreneur when you've succeeded in one. When you've succeeded in one and it's giving you momentum, that's how you then grow, and then you have time and money to invest in other things. I mean, who do you want to pick? Elon Musk, right? He started with one thing. Yes, you see him as a serial entrepreneur now, but he focused on one thing. Do you understand what I mean? Yeah. I mean, he had X as a platform, and then you have Peter Thiel, who had PayPal, and they were both competitors, and they merged, but they were both doing one thing. Peter Thiel was invested in lots of things. Jeff Bezos has invested in most things. Most of the successful entrepreneurs only did one thing. One problem we have in Nigeria is we promote doing multiple. Like, everyone will always say that to me. Baba, you still do this thing. What else do you do? Nothing, bro. Like, what do you mean? Nothing. I don't do anything. Why? Like, I do a lot of other things in my industry. Okay. You know, I started off with e-commerce. So we're the number one in e-commerce now. That's what we started as, but we're like number 2 or 3 in terms of retail chains. We're number 2 in terms of distribution. We've now gone into manufacturing. Where's the camera?
There's one over
We're
there.
now in manufacturing, post it too. Like, but I'll talk about that. No, but I do one thing, but I do multiple things within the industry because there's so many opportunities and so many things to fix in the industry. Why am I selling drink and then the next month I'm going to set up an e-commerce site to sell clothes and I'm going to open a payment platform because everyone's now doing payments. Like, it's so hard to succeed in one thing in Nigeria and to focus on all the hurdles and the problems that keep coming. And I mean, again, as I say, go back to the first question. Why? How'd I beat the competition? Not by being better than them or smarter than them, but I eat, shit, breathe this one thing. So all my energy goes into the problems and solutions. When I'm sleeping, I'm thinking about the problems here. When I'm awake, I'm looking, researching about the problems in this. That guy's thinking about this, that, the other. I stand by it, and I've said it to many of them. Like I remember when I met some of the Conga guys at a dinner, maybe like 5-6 years ago, and I think one of the CEOs was there, and he had one of his staff members there, and they were talking about my numbers, and I was telling him the numbers, and he was like, bro, you see the numbers that these guys are doing now, you can do better. And I was like, what? I said, bro, he can't get those numbers. Why? I said, Baba, you're selling phone, you're selling clothes. I said, bro, as long as you're doing multiple things, you will never beat me. Like, you will never beat me. How are you going to, like, how do I look at myself in the night when someone's doing multiple things and I'm only doing one and that person beats me? How? I might as well quit. I might as well quit. So as long as I'm doing this one thing, you will never beat me. Never. And that's why we beat most of them, because they all try to do multiple things.
Okay, so the landscape, business landscape, digital landscape has changed since you launched. How have you, as a company, also changed in that time? But let's take another question before that. You pushed back against pay on delivery at the time. Why did you do that? I mean, you could say you have been validated by everything that's happened, but this was when a lot of people were betting on pay on delivery to change behavior. So why did you push back against it?
Again, I wasn't trying to change behavior. I was trying to understand the Nigerian behavior. And once I understood it, I made the right decision based on them. With the other bigger organizations then, like the Jumias, the Conga and Co., they were just trying to adopt customers. They weren't trying to change or fix a problem. They were just trying to adopt customers. This is Nigeria. I learned about the people quick. I think one of the biggest fundamental things that made me come to that decision first was, I remember, I think it was 2014 or so, maybe 2013, 2014. So I was our first delivery guy. Like, I've been to every single local government in Lagos, every single one multiple times. And back then, we were in Bagada. And so I think somebody ordered a bunch of water, a bunch of juice and beer, and then they ordered one case of Remy Martin. And we were in Bagada, and the delivery was in Aja. Not like the expressway you see now. Back then, it was one road going, one road coming, and then all the places you see on the side, people could go off and on them. It could take you like 3 hours to get down that road, which that day from Bagada there took us 5 hours. And then, so I followed the delivery guy, because then it was one of our biggest orders. We just started, right? So I followed him, like, I don't know where this is, let's go. And then we got there, it was pay on delivery. To be honest with you, without the Remy Martin, that thing was not worth doing. You don't make no money on water and juice and stuff. So then we got there, and then the guy started shopping. I was like, what's going on? So I went over there. I said, what's happening? He's like, I don't want that juice no more. I don't want the Remy Martin. But I was like, well, I don't understand. Like, for me, that's foreign, right? You order something, that's what you want. Then I realized in Nigeria, as long as you didn't pay, and we have a very bad attitude in Nigeria. We're very badly behaved. We're badly behaved. You saw Dubai, said, not big, don't come again. Even transit, but they don't want. And then, so I had to take the same style. I'm parked over there, the guy's doing his thing. I saw him taking long, so I went over there, like, what's happening? He doesn't want this, doesn't want that. And then when he said he doesn't, I left him, I said, no problem. And then when he said he doesn't want the Remy Martin, I was like, no, you will take this one. It's like, you will take it. But then imagine I wasn't there. First of all, unfortunately, most guys that do dispatch riding are not the most educated people. Do you want him to start doing plus and minus on what you took, what you didn't? He can't do that. Do you understand what I mean? And then because we're so badly behaved, that customer would, knowing that guy can't do all of that, would have just been like, he hasn't paid, man, forget it, take it back. Yeah, which he tried to do that day, but nah, I didn't spend 5 hours for nothing. I made him take it, But I decided from that point onwards, I'm not doing this. So this isn't like a t-shirt where you need to check your size. It's not like a pair of shoes you need to try on. If you're buying it from us, you trust us already. So a bottle of Hennessy is a bottle of Hennessy anyway. So if you want it and pay. That's it. If you give Nigerians the option to mess you around, they'll mess you around. So we stopped it. So it wasn't me betting on anything other than I bet on the fact that I know my people and I know what they will do. So you need to cut it so that they can't do it. And you see, one thing that I learned as well because I worked in a tech company in the UK called Core Metrics. And Core Metrics, I mean, they sold to IBM for about 330 million. I was in Silicon Valley a lot. So you see all this grow things fast and break things? That works there. You can't grow things fast and break them here because they're broken already. Do you understand? It's already broken. So if you now try and do it fast, you'll just be falling into holes and you'll just lose money. And I mean, which is what exactly happens to a lot of people. How some people have chopped $24 million in 2 years and $30 million in 3 years. Some of it, I would say a lot of it is people trying to scale too fast in a broken infrastructural system. Majority is just chopping. But it's just not possible to move at that pace in a country that has multiple problems that allows you to do that. Do you understand? In the UK, from here, I can start a dropshipping business. I don't even need to be there. I can start a dropshipping business. Contact China, get the product, they'll ship it to the UK, warehouse on Amazon, start my platform on Amazon, and it gets sent. Here, no, you can't. You can't. It's too difficult. It's too difficult. Too many problems, from people problems to infrastructural problems to financial problems. Just problems. So you need to be very hands-on in order to succeed in those things.
Okay, and you also didn't raise a lot of money.
Sorry?
You also did not raise a lot of money from investors. I think the first investment you got, possibly the only one, was about $100,000, right?
Yeah.
And you didn't raise any other.
No.
Why? And while you answer that, do you think not raising a lot of money probably helped you to sort of stay grounded? Because like you've alluded, I've seen a few founders talk about how you raise a lot of money and your head sort of goes and you start acting irrationally. You probably don't realize that you're being irrational at that time, but you have $5 million in the bank, so you're not acting irrationally. So do you think raising that little helped you to sort of stay grounded?
Yes and no. I would have liked to raise money and act irrationally. It would have been nice. I won't lie to you, it would have been nice. I don't think a lot of people have raised money, acted irrationally, and not kept some behind. That's the Nigerian DNA. We will use their money to act irrationally, and we'll keep our own behind. We didn't raise, first of all, because Jason and Bastian took too much equity. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. They didn't. They did, but they didn't. But what started to happen was Spark, as an incubator at the time, were like the new kids on the block. Everybody was feeling us. We were the guys that just landed. Everybody just, we had about 10 different companies in our incubator. You had hotels, to let, drinks, bus, insured, the game in Kulia. We were in different verticals. So it was very exciting to be amongst us. So you can imagine we were all in one building. And, Iroko was also in the same building. So people, and Iroko was like the coolest thing at that point in time. So just imagine you're in a building of cool, and when all these investors or potential investors are coming, because they were coming regularly, okay, let me come and see all these companies, and then I'm sandwiched in between To Let, a Photo, and I think it was Bus. And then I'm in the middle of them. And so all of us would stand, wait for everybody to come. And they'd say, okay, yeah, tell me about your business, great. Then they'll get to me. Oh, drinks? Nah, we don't do alcohol. I'm like, So it happened once, it happened twice. You know, after a while, you start to feel like that ugly friend in the group that you just come knowing that nobody's going to talk to you. And once that started happening, I just zeroed my mind that I'm sure there are special vehicles and special platforms that would be interested in our vertical, but I didn't know them, and I also didn't have the time to find them out. That actually that probably brings me to one of the other questions. I would absolutely not do this again on my own. Never.
Okay. You already preempted the question I had.
Yeah, I would never start any business on my own ever again. I could use like Iroko, for example. You have Jason and Bastian. Jason, you know, very brash, loud, great at marketing, you know. Then you have Bastian, who's very operational, very calculative, very calm. And I think the combination of the two of them allowed for the business to grow the way it did. Again, you look at Paystack, you have Shola, then you have Ezra. And if you look at a lot of businesses, you either have a good CEO or you have a good co-founder. Because running a business and trying to raise money is difficult. Running a business and trying to find out who you can raise money from is even more difficult. And while you're trying to do that, your business is going down, because at the beginning you constantly need to be working, and every time you take your eye off the ball, there will be a problem. So it's tough doing it on your own. But the minute I realized people weren't really into alcohol, I just faced my front and just said, look, we need to just do this on our own. But to be honest with you, today, I would say, so first of all, out of the whole Spark incubators, we are the biggest and probably the only, I mean, hotels is still there, Toilette is still there, doing very well in their own rights, but we're definitely the biggest and most successful one out of them. But it also took us a long time. So the downside is, you grow a steady business, but it can take you a lot longer to get there. And you know, you have a lot more battle scars, a lot more health problems, a lot more sleepless nights. But it's also more fulfilling, because the business, the difference is the business remains yours. We don't need... Cut that one, I beg. You know. But we do very well. We do very, 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 very well. And we become more ingrained in the ecosystem of your industry, because if you have to survive, you have to become creative. I remember 2015, we ran out of money. I mean, I've done lots of interviews where I tell people that we've died like 9-10 times. That shit's not a joke. Like, we've died 9-10 times. 2015, well, 2014, 15, I think we must have had like 50, 60, 100K in the bank. And then we knew that was almost going to be it. And I came up with an idea.
Sorry, $60K or naira?
I never had dollars before. They didn't give me $100,000. They gave me $100,000 in naira. And they didn't even give it to me at once. They broke it up into like 6 or 7 payments. Yeah, they didn't give me. So like, to put into context, back then, $100,000 was 15 million naira. You know, and from that $100,000, we bought 2 cars. How much is left? Like, how much is left when you buy 2 cars? I mean, notwithstanding, 15 million naira, I think we bought, all of us had those Kias, right? And the Kia then was like 2 million naira. The good old days. But we bought 2, that's 4 million from 15. And that doesn't take into consideration insurance, blah, 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 blah. So it was good to have it, because it gave me a good start. But it's not like groundbreaking money, especially the way it was given to us. It was like, you know, held. So, yeah, we then had an idea. Like I said, and that's what happens when you're forced to think about one thing, because your head just keeps thinking of solutions. So I just thought, okay, the industry needs a catalog to showcase the products. One of the biggest things is people drink a lot, but you'll be surprised how much people don't know about drinks, or about what they're drinking, or what other drinks are within their category. So like, for example, who drinks Baileys? Anyone drink Baileys? You drink Baileys. Who's a competitor to Baileys? Why you spoil my something now? You drink too much. But most people don't know that. They just know. That's why if you look at the Nigerian landscape in terms of anything, actually, I think when I first came, everybody was drinking Hennessy. So everybody drinks Hennessy. Now, everybody's drinking Martell. So in the UK or in any other modern market, what will happen is a product will come into the market, it will shoot up in terms of sales and popularity. Then maybe after a few years, it will come down maybe mid-tier, and then it will just balance there, maybe 10% of these people drink it, 10% of these. Nigeria don't work like that. You're here today, you're gone tomorrow. We move with the herd. With everything we do, we move with the herd. Do you get what I mean? We struggle with personal identity in Nigeria. We're always trying to please other people, and that affects people's purchasing as well. So no one tries to be themselves. Everybody looks around and thinks, what can I buy? For example, Glenfiddich 18 Years was one of their best sellers. They had so the 12 and the 15 were a different bottle, and then the 18 was completely different. Then they rebranded and they made all three of them look the same, just different color change. That was the end. The 18 went down. Why? Because if I'm in a club and I want that girl to see me, she must be able to identify that this is 18 years. Now it looks the same as the other. She won't know. So I need to go and buy something else that will make her know. Do you get what I mean? So everything is about how you're perceived, and it affects your purchasing patterns as well. So when I discovered that, we made the magazine. We made it in like 2.5 weeks, and I was working with a guy who was a graphic designer called Sheyi Obagun. He did a fantastic job with the magazine, and because I knew everybody in the business, which again is one of the benefits of being ingrained in the industry you're in, I was able to just call everybody and go to everybody's offices in like 1 week, see what I'm doing. Before the thing was printed, we made we got $50 million investment. We made 10 million now from the magazine. And that took us again. But again, that's what happens if you focus on your industry and you really zero your mind and have tunnel vision. You'll realize there's so many problems in the industry you're in as opposed to the surface level ones that you'll find more solutions to them. And within those solutions, you find survival. Yeah?
Yeah. So speaking of doing very well, how well are you doing today? What are your numbers? Like, how many drinks do you sell on a good month? And what do your annual revenue numbers look like? Do you want to share a bit of that?
That's it, crazy. I don't understand.
Yeah. Okay. No, okay, let's leave out revenue numbers.
Damn right.
Let's leave out revenue numbers and then stick to how many drinks you probably sell in a month.
How would I tell you that? If I tell you in liters, it won't make any difference. You won't understand. Yeah. If I tell you in liters, you won't understand. If I tell you in bottles, you won't understand because you have nothing to compare it to. So the only thing you understand is money. Yeah, you think you have sense. How do I answer that? We do well enough for me to be here talking to you and not working. That's how well we do. We, as I said, we're number 1 e-commerce, number 2 or 3 retail. We're in about, apart from the northern states, we're in every viable state in Nigeria. We have physical stores in a lot of these states, or at least distribution centers. We're building a physical store in Abuja right now. We're building another one in Ibadan. We're there already, but we're building more stuff, more infrastructure, to kind of just take more customers. We're okay. We're okay. I'm still here. I'm not going yet.
Okay, any plans to expand across Africa? I think you mentioned once that you're in, I think, 2 other African countries.
No, we attempted to. So we attempted to go to Ghana. We registered about to start business. Those people don't have money. Don't have money. So we stopped. We're about to go to probably Kenya. But not with we're about to go to Kenya as well. So that we're about to do. But we do distribution of our own drink. So again, like I said to you before, when you focus on one thing, you find more problems. And you find more problems to solve. So we're in retail, we're in wholesale, we're in e-commerce, we're in distribution. And what has happened is that more and more people are coming into it. Again, so our competition is everybody.
Okay.
There's no one here that hasn't said they haven't. One auntie's having a party or something, and they've inserted themselves in the middle to get drinks somewhere to bring. So everybody, the barrier to entry is so low that anybody can do it. Selling drinks is like everybody's second job. It's like nothing. We're just lucky enough to be at the top of the food chain that no matter how you come into it, we'll always be in there. Now, we then realized after a while that, for example, you have Bullet. Who drinks Bullet? That lady in pink drinks Bullet. She actually looks ashamed. So you have like Bullet energy drink, which is a mixture of energy drink mixed with vodka, right? Now they import it. And then one day, how do I know that?
Why does she know that?
You mind dinner? So after a while, we started seeing your margins. We keep competing, but the one thing that happens with competition, which is why I said I don't like it, is you lose margin. The only person that wins from competition is the customer. The people in it don't win. And which is why Amazon take the approach they take, which is kill everybody. Because it's the only way you can survive. And we do this, we're heading the same way. But then what we realize is that, okay, what else can we do, not just to survive, but to make a difference? So we started manufacturing our own. So we have a competitor to Bullet. We have our own cranberry juice, which is here. We have our own energy drink. We have our own ginger. Now, why did we look at these? Like, apart from your champagnes and your cognacs, which are grown in certain regions abroad, energy drink is syrup and water. Why are we importing it? Like, it's nothing. It's literally nothing. It's not hard. The Bullet, we make it in Nigeria. Not only, I think Bullet is like 1,500 naira a can because you import it, and it's like 25 cl. The one we make in Nigeria is 33 cl, is bigger, and it costs 900 naira. So it's bigger, cheaper, and better. It's better because I made it. Trust me, I made it. So you have ginger. There are three gingers in the market in Nigeria. Ginger beer, which comes from Canada. Ginger ale, which I think is also from Canada or America, one of the two. They're imported drinks. They're expensive because they're imported. There's ginger in Nigeria now. Like, there's ginger everywhere. So Schweppes also made a ginger drink. It's bullshit though. It's rubbish. It's rubbish. You don't see it anymore. It's rubbish. So we made ours. And we made it like you drink that stuff, like it'll come out your nose. Like, that's how we like it. So we started to realize, like, we have to start making things for us the way we like it, as opposed to adopting other people's flavors. And then we just got into those things more and more. So we're going to start manufacturing more and more stuff, and it's just backward integrating because, again, most things that are drinking, like cranberry juice, most of the cranberry juice is stewed cranberry. Like, I don't understand. That thing is water. Like, it's not a big deal. So I think a lot of people, probably in the room and just generally, when looking at the problems, actually really, really look at the solutions and research them. And you'll find that there's a lot of solutions around you, as opposed to just doing the same thing that everybody else is doing. And that's generally the problem in Nigeria. Again, we don't look at the problems to find a solution. We look at the problem and look for money. So that's why you see people just rush to, people like this kind of thing. Let me go and import my own. And then you end up just competing on price. And that's why you see a lot of people trading. You look at a guy's balance sheet. He's sold 1 billion. He's made 100,000. Because they just keep selling off their margins. I think of Nigeria to suffer. I can't do that thing. So the business has to make sense. And the minute it's starting to not make sense, and again, one of the other things that we do, especially me, we have a bad culture in Nigeria. From people say the government, but it's not just the government, it's everybody. We only think so far ahead. You need to think long term. If you're going to try to solve anything or succeed in anything in Nigeria, everybody thinking short term is good, as long as you're thinking long term. But if you think short term like that, you'll just be reactional. And as long as you're reacting, you still won't make money because you're continuously competing on price. You're continuously. I met a girl who said she wants to be a tailor. Okay, why? people like clothes. And I supported her, I helped her. And then I was like, wait, when you looked at the tailoring business, I think she told me one day, like, she spent like 4 days making one outfit for somebody. And she loved the outfit, blah, blah, blah. I was like, how much you make from, this was years ago. How much you make from that outfit? So the outfit was 50K. How much did you make? 5K. What? Like, how are you ever going to make money? Unless you're like, I don't know designers' names. I don't really wear clothes. To be honest with you, I wore this thing because of you. I always wear jerseys. Unless you're like a designer to the rich, famous, and popular, as a tailor, you will not make money. Until I realized that I can make that top, take it to Yaba, and the woman can make 100 of them. But why is no one doing that? Why? If you go to the West, you're not a designer is popular and rich because they've made a design that has been replicated 1,000, 1 million times, and that one T-shirt is sold 1 million times. But if you want to make bespoke for everybody, Baba, you go so far. Go so far.
Okay, I think we are running out of time. Okay, just one more question.
Chief, we're not running out of time. I came on time. They came late.
Yeah,
give them more time.
Okay, all right. So there's this debate about what makes a great entrepreneur, and I think you've sort of lived. You probably have enough experience to talk on this. You did not start a business straight out of school, or maybe in your teens. You worked for a while before you started a business. What do you think makes a great entrepreneur? Are they born or are they made?
I'm not 100% sure because I don't think I'm a great entrepreneur. I think I would always give people an advice from the perspective that I understand. And I was never bold enough to start a business when I was inexperienced. I've worked for many years. I mean, my first job was at Universal Pictures. I've always worked in marketing. I've worked agency life. So I'm actually not too far away from what I studied. Which is why when you asked me about how we survived, I said marketing. Because that's what I know. But if you're young and you have no skills and you want to be an entrepreneur, you either have to be a genius, very good, very rich, or just very mad. But, I would say you have to work to... If you don't even understand how to do things, how are you going to run the business? You probably will, but it will be a lot of pain, a lot of suffering, and a lot of mistakes. But you just see clearly, because I would advise everybody that work 100% for the company you work for. So, for example, I have retail stores. When I was at university, I worked retail, but I sold perfume and lingerie. I started off selling perfume, but I was so good at it and I was so popular with the females. No joking. But the females liked me because I was very good at selling perfume. And then the managers were like, oh, maybe try giving advice on lingerie. And I was giving advice on lingerie and I got good at that too. But the point was I put my all into it because I just liked it, right? Then I think some years later, as I was getting to my final year, I worked in security at retail stores. So again, I put my all into it. I was very helpful when people come in. I was very nice. Not like these lazy idiots here in Nigeria. We work 12-hour shifts in the UK, standing. These fools here are sitting down, and they still can't even answer the door. So till today, I noticed those things because when I did it properly. So when I see a security guard sitting down looking at his phone, I'm irritated because I'm like, you're not... You may look like nothing is going to change, but it's not going to change with that attitude. When I did it, I didn't do it thinking I'm going to start a security company or I'm going to start a perfume company. I did it because I was trying to learn and I was trying to be the best at it. Those skills have never, till today, I still have them. If you ask me to advise you on lingerie, I can do that. If you ask me about perfume, I can do that. If you ask me about security, I can do that. Ask me about retail stores, I can do that. Like everywhere I've worked, I know I still have all the knowledge till today, and I use it for my own business. But I never planned to have a retail store. I never planned to do e-commerce. I never planned to do any of the things I'm doing now. I was in the UK, I was happy. I never planned any of those things. But if use someone else's money to learn, use someone else's establishment to learn, and if you think you're giving too much to that business, you're not. You're giving it to yourself. I always tell my staff when I tell them all the time, whatever you learn here, whatever time I give you an input, you're going to take it. Like, I can't keep it. I can't keep your head. You're going to take it with you. So just give your all. They don't listen though.
Okay. What are your top three? What are your top three tips for someone who wants to go start a business today? Apart from telling them not to do it, obviously, but what are your top three tips?
No, I wouldn't say don't do it all. Just be prepared, but understand what prepared means. Desire is not preparational. Desire is not preparation at all. I mean, a lot of people have a lot of desire to get married. You know how that ends most of the time? But marriage and business are the same thing. They're literally the same thing. You're going into a partnership with someone or something that you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know how they're going to react. You don't know what obstacles are ahead. So the first thing I would advise is, again, I can only advise from my perspective, work a lot and get experience and do it when you're more mature. It's also not fun trying to be an entrepreneur when you're broke, because broke and suffering, you can't focus. Hungry, tired, it's tough. It's already tough already. Get a co-founder. Share the burden with someone else.
Share the suffering.
Share the suffering, share the burden. But also make sure the person is a completely different personality to you. If you are analytical, if you are operative and numbers driven, then get somebody who's good at marketing. Get someone who's going to go out there and most of you guys, I'm sure you guys know Iroko, right? You've seen a lot of the articles online. Do you not see how uncomfortable Bastian looks? Any picture you see him in? Because he doesn't like that stuff. Jason's the media guy. Jason's the guy on the camera. Jason's the guy who likes the flashlights. Bastian, just after they started Spark, was forced to start being in the limelight. But that's not his thing. So you can only imagine. I mean, is anybody married here? No? You're married? Okay. Is your wife like you? Would you marry someone like you? Yeah, that sounded wrong. Wait. No, but you get my point, right? Okay, maybe he's different. Me, I can't marry anyone like me. That shit will be fire. Do you understand? It'll be fire. You can imagine if you're hot-headed and your partner is hot-headed. Bro, nadai. You get? It's the same thing. And I can tell you something. You see, with a married couple, you guys can mess things up. At night, you solve it. In business, it's money. There's no solving it. When you feel like you two aren't getting on, the only thing you're focused on from that point in time is the money. And it's always getting one over each other, which is not going to be a healthy business because you guys are no longer focusing on a singular journey. So you need someone that's like, okay, me, I don't like doing this stuff. I can't. Like, for example, I would say the last 2 years have been the big turning point for our business because a very, very, very good friend of mine, he's a PE MD. He's great at finance. He's great at operations. So he's one of our board of advisors. And he took over everything accounting. He has taken it over and he has changed everything and made it better. Ask me anything about, I don't know. Because it's not my thing. Anything else is my thing and I can do it. The third thing, just know your customers and solve their problems. And don't watch anybody else. Everything everybody else is doing, you can imagine it when we were going through the industry, it was depressing. You're sitting down, like I said, one day, I mean, you got to remember I had $100,000 in small pennies. Then one day, hotels announced $1.5 million. They moved out. To let announced $1.25 million. They moved out. Me, I'm still in the office. Then next to me is photo. They closed down. Bus, they closed down. So you can only imagine you're looking around thinking, Jesus, like I'm next. I'm going down. But I didn't think that way because I already accepted that my solution is not coming from raising. My solution is coming from me. So whatever happened to those guys, I didn't even know. I didn't care because I already looked ahead and I just had tunnel vision for what I was doing. So I already knew my problems. I knew my solutions. I knew what I was going to do. So whatever's going on with these guys didn't affect me. It didn't bother me at all. And again, today, I think hotels raised almost $3 million in total, maybe 2.5 to let them have raised as well. And there's lots of other businesses that have raised more than us, $20, $30 million. A lot of these guys have done it. To let and hotels are around, though. They're still around, they're my guys. But the other guys, they've raised, there are companies that have raised $30 million. They're not here anymore. If you focused on that, you'd be disheartened. You'd lose confidence. You'd think, if these guys can't succeed with $30 million, then what chances do I have? But then Chukwudi's in the market. He didn't raise shit. He's building hotels. He's doing all sorts. So there are different paths to success. Just follow yours and ignore everybody else's and all the noise.
All right. Okay. So right now we're going to questions. We will take 3 questions from you guys here, and then we will take 1 question from the guys online. So we have pitches after this. That's why we have to take that few.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. All right. So the first person.
Sorry. Wait. You have pitches?
Yeah.
Not for me to put money in.
No. Of course.
No problem now.
Okay. So let's see. Okay. All right.
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, let me say it was a pleasure being here. This is my first time of coming here. I've followed TechPoint for a while, but that was the first time I was actually seeing that invite. Let me commend you, Lanre, for your perseverance. I'm a pharmacist, but I've been in the fintech space, e-commerce, and I've seen people raise funds, like you said, and they start flying first class, And I am very much happy to hear you started this in 2013, and that means you walked the journey, and it means you have the passion for what you're doing, and it means you want to make a difference in that industry, and that's the difference between someone that wants to make a difference and someone that is in it for the money. I just want to ask, you're in an industry where you have a lot of informal people in that sector. I don't know I've been trying to research the number of restaurants, beer parlors, bars in Nigeria. I'm sure it's not less than 100,000. If you count those by the street side, they sell drinks. Some of them make good money. How do you distribute to them? Because some of them are not tech savvy. But I can tell you that market is humongous. And what you are building big data too. If you have those kind of businesses around you, they're going to need credit one day. Are you thinking in that line too? That's about it from me now. Thank you.
So we don't direct. So any distribution business is like a spider web. So we may not distribute things to certain people directly, but there are chains in which it can get to them eventually that will come from us. So we try not to focus too much on everything. So for example, like we had stark competition some years back from the likes of Vendy's, Alenzo, blah blah blah. We were in Ibadan, and we were seeing very funny things happen that my staff were getting very worried about. Some of these guys will come buy something from us for 50K, then go and sell it to our same customers for 45K. It's fine now. We've sold our own. Everybody go home. So you will get you can't get to everybody, and the focus should be trying to get to the right people, and the rest of the chain will get there. Credit? Nah, bro. I'm not on that. I'll reach out to Money Point to step in and sort that out, but no. To a degree, we do a little, depending on the business, the size of the business. But if we're going to get bigger in it, it will have to be de-risked. Nigeria operates too much on what's the best way to put it? Like, everything in Nigeria is about relationship. business can't grow on relationship. Business can't grow on trust. Business can't grow on recommendations. And no, it has to grow on a process and a system. So because our industry is so fragmented and so relationship driven, it makes it harder for us to get through certain barriers. But stay in power will win. Do you understand what I mean? In 2013, the informal trade controlled 90 to 95% of beverage distribution. Today, they control 65, 70%. By the time we probably accelerate some things and some other people do some things, it will continue to go down. Like I said, when I was younger, there were women selling pepper on the streets. You don't see that so much anymore. It will happen with everything informal eventually. These Gen Z kids, is there anyone heard of Quacktails? Yeah, the Quacktails, they pink in everything they do. Quacktails focuses on one customer, the Gen Z. That's who he started with, right? Anybody else that discovers him, you have to follow whatever his current customer does in terms of how they purchase from him. Do you know you can't phone that guy? You can't phone them. You can't do anything. The only person you can talk to is the delivery guy. You go on their website, you order, and that's the end. That's the only form of communication you have with them. That's someone that knows what he's doing. That's someone that knows, I'm not after all of you. I'm just after the right type of person that suits me, and I'll build a business from them. And that's just how you have to do everything. That's what we do as well.
All right.
Hello, everybody, and thanks for this session. It's been quite interesting. Actually, incidentally, I'm a pharmacist also, but and
so you see what I'm saying about competition. See how you look back.
I mean, but I run an e-commerce startup, and that's one of the reasons why I actually came. You said something about $100,000. I didn't catch whether you said it was a grant, and if it wasn't a grant, it was a VC fund or whatever. Has it been paid back? And how long was it before you exited? Then secondly, we have a digital asset. Because our domain is medexguide.com. Well, we have a domain called medicines.ng, which is close to what you have. But we want to raise funds with it. Actually, we've been thinking, me and my guys, we said, look, the best thing, let's just sell this thing. Since it's a premium domain name, just like your Drinks.ng, maybe you could just give some tips, how we can, get the best value from, flipping it. So you can use those funds for, to grow what we have. Because really, for me, getting venture capital and all that, I think the best grind is to be able to get revenue, build your revenue yourself. But most times, I think one has no choice to get that big money. $100,000 now is a lot of money. So let me know how you did it, and what's happening now. Thanks.
Sorry, what's your name?
Yinka Johnson.
Okay, so you're Yoruba?
Yeah.
Okay, so
sorry. Calling me.
Okay, good.
So when you talked about Isaleko, I said, that's my area.
Okay. So I only ask just so I can just be more respectful.
How many?
Daddy, you must come on time because you missed a lot of stuff that you're asking me already.
Don't call me daddy. I'm not too far away, but then I know.
From me? Daddy, you're far.
No, but I get it. But I'm happy. I'm happy. I get these things all the time.
Okay.
But when I look at all over the world, all the founders, late 50s, early 60s, there are many of us. So I just keep on.
Not late 50s, 60s, oh. No, not us, oh. No.
Oh, not you. No, I wasn't really referring to you. I said, I'm not talking
but
generally.
you said us, and he said we're close together. No.
Well, so we can't be too far away, sure. Okay, yeah.
So, just to reiterate, so we got a $100,000 investment from an incubator. I was rather fortunate because I used to work for Iroko, and the founders of Iroko started the incubator. So it was easy for me to get that $100,000. I mean, it's an investment, right? It's not to be paid back, but we can. If we have to, we can. No, it wasn't a grant, it was an investment. But they're not going to ask for $100,000 back. They're going to ask for more. Yeah, they're going to ask for whatever the value of the company is. So, again, we can, but we're not going to. Yeah. we're not doing what everybody else is doing. We're trying to build something big, and we're building something big. We can give dividends, but we're not looking to exit anytime soon, if at all. We're probably more likely looking at buying our founders out. I don't think they knew that. Now they do. Yeah, we're probably more looking at buying them out because we're more of a sustainable business. I would say we're more of an African tech business as opposed to a pure tech business. There are certain things that just, especially when you have physical goods in Africa. I mean, look, Jumia scaled before. Now they're retracted and they're getting smaller. So I've already seen the light at the end of the tunnel. So why would I follow them? I've already seen it, so there's no point. And there are other ways to skin a cat, which we're doing, and we're doing it successfully. We also know the problems that some of the big guys have. I mean, forgive me, people probably think it's just Jumia in the market now, but you forget there's Konga. But again, no, but you forget for a good reason, right? I don't even know if even they believe in themselves anymore. GG. See, if anything happens to me, so yeah, I hope that answered your question. Sorry, about your medic. In the early days, the guy that owned, is it Pets.ng, sold it for a significant amount of money, even though it probably didn't do as well as it should have. I think that guy died now. The Chinese guy is very popular. Yeah, Pets.ng. No, sorry, Pet.com, not NGO. No, Pets.com in America. No. Well, that brings me to my next statement. People buy things of value, and Nigerian domain names don't have value. No. Look, first of all, the purchasing of domain names as a valued asset, those days are long gone. No one is paying you hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars to get a name. We had Drinks.ng and Drinks.com.ng. I messed up. I agree. It's my own mess up. I forgot to renew Drinks.com.ng. Somebody has been trying to sell it to me since. Oga, carry the thing and go. Nothing. It's okay. No one's looking for it. I don't care. Do you understand? Now they're trying to give it to me for free because I'm just the price went from $25,000 to $2,000 naira. They just want to get rid of it. They just they don't care now because they see I don't care. And so Nigeria is so hard that there's no real value in a domain name. The value is in the operations. So if the operations aren't solid, there's nothing to buy. I've had multiple people in our industry offer to sell me either the business, and we're not even talking of a domain name here now. It's a business that is in the same industry as me. And I look at it and I think, but if I take those customers, then it's done now. There's nothing to buy. So, like I said, if something happens to me, so when it was offered to me, I just went for their customers. Nothing to buy. We don't have that infrastructure and we don't have the laws. Who watches Dragons Den? Yeah. Right. You'll notice one common question on Dragons Den when they're trying to raise money. How many orders do you have? Even if they have no orders, they say they have a contract of commitments. That's as good as an order. In Nigeria, we don't have that. We don't have that. So you either have to have a good balance sheet, a good bank account, and solid operations. But domain name selling or an idea and medical.ng, I mean, you have to go up against Health Plus, Med Plus, who have solid brand names. They could shut you guys down before you even started. It's medicines.ng. Yeah, but there's Med Plus and Health Plus, the same thing. It's the same thing. And those guys have the advantage of a big brand name, but they also have an advantage of one thing that you don't. They have a lot of branches around the country. So whether I'm in Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, if I needed that medicine, I literally could get it delivered to me anywhere just from the sheer infrastructure of their outlets. You'd have to compete with that. You either just wouldn't, or it would just take you too long. So there's not much to sell. Does that make sense? Okay.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody.
Afternoon.
My name is Bolaji, and this is also my first time here. at the Pitch Friday. I was at the Startup Expo a few weeks ago. So my question to you is, first of all, thank you for your presentation, and congratulations on scaling so far, having locations or business presence in different parts of the country. But my question is more specific to maybe if you can cast your mind back to the earlier stages. And we just made a quick reference to legal no's, so that's what I'm talking about.
Quick reference to what?
Legal.
Okay.
So at what point was legal protections, structuring, all of that, at what point did you prioritize that in the business, especially growing a business in Nigeria? And looking back, was there any legal decision or, legal decision that you wish you took earlier?
Yeah, actually, that's probably the best one. I wish I took legal seriously from day one. I didn't take legal as seriously as I needed to. Hence why I got very good at violence, which is also very needed, because you need a lawyer to protect you too after you've done beaten someone up. But your business structure is really important, and I know we all hope to succeed, but we don't know if we're going to. But believe me, just make sure the business is structured from someone who has the knowledge from the beginning. Because I can tell you, for example, where we have different aspects of the business, like I said, e-commerce, wholesale, distribution, manufacturing, I won't lie to you, some businesses are called this, some are called that, just to get it open, because I just want to start. Just put your name in the business, just get it open. Man, to fix all of that cost a lot of time and a lot of money, and it would have just been easier if you put your ambition down on paper, whether you believe you're going to do it or not. Put it down on paper, speak to a lawyer, and let them advise you best how to structure the business and the vehicles and everything you want to do, just so that, God willing, if you do start to achieve the dreams you've got, you already know how to do it. Because fixing, especially when you have investors, especially when you have co-founders, it can be very, very... Everybody has good intentions and everybody's understanding when you're growing. Once you've grown, there's no understanding anymore. That founder that you say, just put your name in this just so we can get it done. One is working, all of a sudden it becomes his. And he will hold on to it. So little things like that will then start to happen. So to be honest with you, actually, I should have said, I think legal is the most important part of everything that we messed up on. It's the most important we messed up on, that we managed to fix. And then probably HR as well. I would also get HR, finance, man, everything. Everything. No, that's what I'm saying. Except marketing. How will you sell? Yeah. No, execution. I mean, look, I'm a great ideas guy. Yes, I'm very good at marketing myself as well. I honestly believe that most of my marketing team are frustrated because I think I'm better than them at everything. That's harder to deal with. Do you understand what I mean? And I probably am better than them. Yeah, I said it. I probably am. But I can't do it all. Do you get what I mean? I can't do it. They have to do it. But HR, I never knew how powerful. I never respected HR until recently. I also couldn't afford it. But everything that I got frustrated about, everything that I yelled about, like I could have saved myself a lot of high blood pressure tablets if I got the HR early. Yeah. They make people work. They hold people accountable. They put the structures in place to make people be accountable. They control the cultural mentality of the company that you're trying to build. It's very hard for you to create a culture, even if it's a culture of go-getters. When you're the one that owns it, believe me, you're filled with 95% frustration, which you take out on everybody else. Because you're trying to get everybody to go, you're never going to translate that message professionally. It will always be out of frustration, and and it just comes across badly against everybody else, and it just creates a bad culture. HR fixes that. But I would definitely say, if I was to start again, a proper finance person and a proper legal person, way more important than anything else. Because everything else, if it's marketing, you can fix, get different people. Operations, you keep on iterating. But you mess up the legal, you won't know, but later, when it's too late, it will come back and get you. And by then, it will probably cost you so much more than it would have, because now you have something of value and of asset. And you're probably going to have to relinquish a lot of it for a lot less, because you just didn't put your legal structure in place. And then finance, trust me, those are the people you want from day one. Day one. So, yeah.
Thank you so much. I think that was helpful to hear that
lawyer,
perspective from you as a founder, because I am a lawyer.
So you came here to plug, Abby?
Yes, I'm a lawyer, and I support startup founders specifically. So my practice is very niche. And so that's why this is the audience that I wanted to speak to, and I wanted that to come from you, so they're hearing that from somebody who's done that, been there, learned the hard way.
So what's your law firm called?
Startup Legal Consulting.
Okay, so you guys owe me.
And when you're ready to scale outside Africa, you can contact us as well.
So you remember when I said have single vision? You came to listen, she came to plug.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Kelechi, and I'm also about to launch my marketplace very soon. I'm very excited about that. So my background is law as well. Studied law in London, came to Nigeria, and my dad was pushing me to do law school over here. When I realized how much you guys get paid over here, I was just like, nah.
Wait. Who is you guys?
Sorry, not you guys, but when I realized... Me too, I'm part of them, because I've lived here for 5 years now, but I was just like...
We couldn't tell.
But I was just like, no. The pay is just not cutting it. So I realized, okay, I need to start a business. I'm very good at marketing, branding, and building communities as well. So, cool. So my question is, I'm about to launch my marketplace, and I feel like Nigerians, including myself, if it's not broke, don't fix it. We are a type of people that we're comfortable in tough situations. And it's quite hard for founders like me to bring innovation. So I feel like with the marketplace I'm launching as well, I want to know your top 2 marketing or just tips on how you change the minds of Nigerians, because it's a tough crowd. And what I'm introducing is very innovative. It's going to be the first out of Africa, because, it's just going to be that good. But it's all well and good to have a marketplace that works. Yeah, it looks good. But how do I get Nigerians to actually stop one system and enter a new one?
The first thing you do is tell them what it actually is.
Oh, I'm saving that for my pitch.
Take every opportunity.
Okay, so basically, I'm starting a female-focused, AI-driven marketplace. So this is where small entrepreneurs. Okay, let me just start from the top. I came from London to Lagos, and I started a hair.
Don't start from that far top.
Okay, I started a hair extensions line on Instagram, and I realized a lot of small businesses were all selling on Instagram and WhatsApp. And as a customer and a vendor, I got fake alerts. I will make a post telling them about my product. The price is there in bold. I will get 50 DMs saying how much ma. It was just a mess. It was a mess. They were rude to me. Sometimes they will drag you, and I'm just like, this is not professional. This is not sustainable. And how am I even going to scale as a business if I'm using Instagram, which Instagram is very chaotic as a small business to grow my platform? So I thought of a bright idea, and I was just like, why not be the Amazon of Africa and start my own female-focused platform where it's only female products we sell, beauty, skincare, fashion, and tailor it to Gen Z and millennial women, which we know are we shop a lot, we're impulse buyers, we're consumers. Yeah, so Instagram has been here for a long time and we're used to that platform. So I want to know if it was you that's about to launch this business, how would you enter? How would you convince them that give me 5%, 0 to 5% commission as a founding vendor and use this platform and grow this community with me, and it's going to be lucrative for your small business?
Okay, man, you have plenty of questions in that.
I know, sorry.
Let me try and remember most of them, but I'll make some corrections as well. First of all, every country in the world, just to help you, every country in the world, according to their standard of living, lawyers, accountants, and co are paid shit, not just Nigeria. Every country in the world. But I can also tell you in Nigeria, there are a lot of lawyers that make a lot of money. Old ones, young ones, mediocre ones. Nigeria, you can make money. I'm pretty sure this lady is not here selling beans, though. She's making money. Look at her hair. Yeah? So there are lawyers that make money. So I wouldn't leave law because you think you can't make money. That's the first thing I'll say. Okay. Second mistake, in my opinion, how many of the 200 million Nigerians' minds do you want to change? You want to change their minds? So you want to fight Mark Zuckerberg with Nigerians? Shall I tell you something? I thought it was possible as well, until I saw how much money Jumia and Konga spent trying to do it and failed. Yeah. So I get you. So you're also, the reason why I'm going over this is because I'm going to address your other part. I've been doing this for 13 years. Iroko was doing it for 3-4 years before us. Tunde Kende and Koda with Jumia were doing it around that time as well. With regards to changing Nigerians' minds, I'll start with Iroko as the marketing director. Iroko is movies. It's very simple. You go there, you pick a movie, you watch it. Then we have live chat. Live chat are the people that help you solve problems. Maybe your movie's not playing, or they can't pay, whatever it is. 90% of the chats is, where's this movie? Where's that movie? Like, how do I watch this movie? That when you go on Iroko, do you know we got a big circle and the triangle that says play. The first thing you see when you come on there, because of them, they still ask you, how do I watch the movie? On our platform, we have all sorts of customers. I would say I'm an upward mobile, person, and my friends are pretty much the same. These would be the class of people that have traveled, maybe some of the people that grew up having money. They would be the people you would say are probably the smarter part of society. They will go to my website, take pictures of all the products, and send them to me and ask me, how much is it? This is not Gen Z, millennial. These are people that travel abroad and they do it. On our platform, people will gather links, send to them and say, how much is all of that? The point I'm making, you can't change Nigerians. Then in terms of AI, I always like people to not get too ahead of themselves, again, with what happens in the West and then bringing it to Nigeria. How does AI help someone that can't smell dress? They will string a sentence together, I'm looking for the white dress. But trust me, when you read it, you won't even know what they're saying. AI can't combat that level of bad misspelling, and believe me, it's a lot from everybody. So there's a lot of those kind of challenges. Then there was another thing that you said is that I'm actually in complete opposite to what you're saying. I think for a country and a continent like Nigeria and Africa, Instagram is a website, and WhatsApp is your CRM, and those things have been built up so well that people can use them for it. When I first came to Nigeria, if I wanted to market, what was that Amazon thing called when you look at the traffic to different websites? Alexa, that's it. I used to use Alexa all the time to target my marketing campaigns. And they've stopped it, closed it down now, but it pretty much, when they stopped it, because everything has worked the way they want it to work, it's not necessary anymore. Back then, the top 100 websites where traffic goes to will be websites. Do you know the top 5 are by a large gap? Do you know? No. Betting sites are probably 1. You came late. They told you to off your phone. Well, like I said to you guys before, if you're going to do anything, you should research first. If you don't know that, then you didn't research enough. The first thing you'll see is, number 1, who knows the most visited website in Nigeria? Sorry? Now. You don't know, right? Anyone? Nairaland stopped being a big website a while ago. Anyone know? Bet Niger. Anyone? That's surprising that none of you here know that. Of the top 5, the top 4 are all social media sites. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp. What does that tell you? That's where everybody is. And you want to build something outside of that. There's no pain point how? What do you mean? No, sorry, I can't hear her. It sounds better, bro. Smooth, Joe. Like?
The way it works is you can't really scale on the platform.
Sorry?
I'm focused on small businesses.
What's this lady's name that sells hair? What's her name again? No. Well, Choma Good Hair never sold hair. She was in Lekki. She was in Lekki before. No. There's a different ones. One Eka, that's the one. So she was in an office near ours. I didn't know who she was before, but I went to a friend's office called Mayfair Motors. She sells cars. So I'm there with him one day, and this small little girl and one guy come. And this is like 4 or 5 years ago. She bought a G-Wagon and another Mercedes. Only from Instagram. Only. Now, I'm not saying that let me tell you something, guys. There are pain points with everything. Everything. But you know the one pain point that you're going to come across? Trying to get people's attention away from there to there. Too expensive. Too expensive. In Nigeria, too expensive.
So if you was to do it, what would you do if you just tried? If you had this dream, what are 2 things you would do? Is it community building, branding, like?
So do you want to say?
I'll help you.
Do you want to say?
No, I'll answer quickly. What would I do if I had that dream? Wake up. I am not saying it's not going to work because I don't know, but for now, I'd wake up.
All right, so those are all the questions we can take. We are going straight into the pitches. I didn't promise to take every question, so we are going into pitches right now. So thank you so much, Lanre, for spending some time with us.
No, wait. Remember, I have 4 energy drinks called Tiger. Go out there and try them and buy them. I'm sorry that the lawyer tried to take my shine, but I'll promote my own drink. Here you go. You can taste one and let everybody know.
All right, thank you so much.